Well, great. It's really a pleasure to follow the presentations by the two senators. I don't know how many of you, I wasn't up all night, but I did hear a number of their talks on the floor of the Senate. And you heard both Senator Markey and Senator Nelson kind of do a reprise of many of their remarks they made that night and into the morning. And I guess the thing that struck me, everyone's wondering, well, what's going to come out of this? That the fact that you've got 30 senators up on the floor speaking, there's no legislation. What are we going to do? The fact that you had all of those leaders, some of whom have not spoken much on this subject at all, speaking quite intelligently, using the science that we and our colleagues have produced, having to become familiar enough to be able to get up and talk about them, as you've heard here, was really quite impressive. And hopefully we can build on this and have ways that we can, as challenged by Senator Markey, ways that we can continue to contribute information to inform, as we called it in the National Research Council, America's climate choices that lie before us. So this meeting deals with the urban ocean. And we've talked a bit about ports. We've talked about urban environments earlier today. And one of the things that we're trying to deal with is and a lot of that has been sort of from the perspective of the land. You know, what is sea level rise doing to us in our urban areas and the like? And so I think now we're going to hear some presentations on the interface. What are the challenges of us in this slim part of the globe that snakes around all of the land masses, where the ocean meets the land, where so much of our productivity, so much of our economic activity is dependent. And it includes not only things that you'll be hearing about fisheries, for example, but importantly, you'll be hearing in this session a number of people talking about vital, and I mean vital, transportation systems that maintain our economic vitality. You heard earlier this morning about how much of our commerce, global commerce, goes by ships. Well, it goes by ships through some vulnerable outlets from the Mississippi River that provides commerce to the hinterland and the great food production, which is important not only for our economic well-being, but importantly for feeding the earth. This is going to be a very, very important role. How do we maintain that? You're going to be hearing about the Northwest and the Columbia River. In a energetic environment, how do you maintain the long-term those interfaces in a changing world? So we're very pleased to have with us, and you have the bios, and I won't repeat them, but let me just say a few words about these colleagues. First of all, you'll be hearing from Steve Cochran. Steve I've known for quite a number of years, and I actually met Steve when, it's not in his bio, it's kind of very sketchy in his bio, but he was actually the chief of staff of the governor of Louisiana for a while when I worked there. So he was actually the guy who helped run state government for Governor Romer. And he's gone on to a lot of other experience working in government and NGOs, dealing with national issues. And he's back now focusing on the big challenge of the Mississippi River Delta. You'll be hearing more from him about that. Lisa Cobb is from Port Orford in southern Oregon coast, and where we're struggling with how to maintain the economic base of that region, including the fisheries, but including the range of activities in multiple use environments. You'll be hearing from Rod Moritz, who is with the Corps of Engineers, whose responsibility in that agency is to figure this out. How do we develop the engineering that's going to stand up to the winds, waves, sea level rise issue into the future? And then batting cleanup, you'll hear from Dave Jensen. Dave is no stranger to this forum. He's, I think, appeared with us more than once, probably in the past. You may remember Dave is a staffer, a key staffer, director in a subcommittee of the Committee on Natural Resources, which dealt with a lot of ocean issues. And he's now with the Transportation and Infrastructure Committee as the staff director for Coast Guard and maritime transportation. So he'll provide some perspectives in that vein as well. So without further ado, let me bring up Steve.